bless you, everybody. We're the Surreals.
Surreals, and welcome to the Surreal Faith channel.
And we're just getting back not too long ago from our recent trip. Where we go?
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Louisiana. How you say it?
You talking about the Popeyes commercial? Yeah, that's pretty much how I know. Louisiana.
Okay.
We went to New Orleans. We traveled from Richmond to New Orleans. So I guess our trip really begins on Breeze Airways.
I forgot why we was going there. It was on my birthday.
Oh yeah, it was for your birthday.
I'm done.
How old are you?
No, we're not going to discuss that.
Ooh,
so I wanted to go somewhere where we haven't been. So we decided to go to.
We decided to go to New Orleans because we ain't never been there.
We never been there. Okay.
Yeah. What made you choose New Orleans? Because you was all over the place.
I was all over the place. I didn't
Florida,
know where to go.
Atlanta. Where you want to go?
Already. I just want to go somewhere where they had some culture and just different stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, different people.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we did fly Breeze,
which is kind of new to Richmond. I think it's very comparable to Spirit minus
it ain't
the
that
bag
comparable
fees.
to Spirit.
What? Oh, you just no love for Spirit.
Spirit is not it.
The Spirit will lead you wherever you need to go.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. Besides the plane is usually running late, so
always late. That's our second time flying Spirit. I mean Breeze.
Yeah.
And the pilot wasn't there. The crew wasn't there.
Or sometimes they waiting for one to leave so the other one can dock the plane. So that sometimes that causes a delay. But for the most part, pretty comfortable seating. Pretty smooth flight there. It's very rough coming back. I think we were like 40 mile per hour winds that day coming back, and we felt every single turbulence.
He told us it was windy, and yet he still flew very, very fast. Yeah. But other than that, I think it was a good flight.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad travel. So Breeze only do straight flights. They don't do layovers. They do non-stop flights, which is good, especially.
Small kids.
You've got small kids. You can just take a straight flight.
But we left the kids this time.
Yeah. I like non-stop flights. I don't like doing layover.
Yeah.
So what did we? Next we
stayed at an Airbnb.
Yes, I would recommend staying at an Airbnb if you go to New Orleans. Just because a lot of the hotels are either in the French Quarter or Bourbon Street, and it's very lively.
So,
probably won't get any sleep there.
Or parking and all that stuff. So we stayed
at a house. We stayed like maybe 10 minutes from the French Quarter and like Bourbon Street. Yeah, it was like at least a 10-minute
it wasn't too far. I feel like the Airbnb was nice. It was nice, clean, spacious. It had all our needs. We were able to cook some nights.
Yeah.
I feel like it did its job, so I definitely would, as people who have ran an Airbnb, I can kind of commend that Airbnb host. But she had it well decorated and nice furniture. One thing about running an Airbnb is like people wear down on your furniture, and she had a ton of wood furniture, like sturdy stuff,
real wood.
Yeah, so that was good.
So what next we did? The first thing that we did was the next day we did a food tour, a walk-in food tour. So they big on food tours. We did a breakfast one. Yeah. So we had breakfast in the French Quarter at a restaurant, and then we took like a walk-in. Yeah.
The tour guide, I can't remember his name, but he was awesome.
Ralph.
But there was no young girls here. The only people you had here were convicts who the king let out of jail to start a colony. He says, look, we'll drop the charges, just go to New Orleans. Well, they came over, the only women you had was nuns. You didn't have no women here. So the king went to the aristocracy of France. He said, listen, we need some women in our colony. You guys got 4 or 5 daughters. Give us one of your daughters. Give us the ugly one. Give us the one you don't like. We'll send her to New Orleans. We'll get her educated. We'll get her married. Get you off the hook. So 80 girls got on a ship from France and came to New Orleans. Now, back then, a ship from France to New Orleans took 6 months. That's a hell of a trip. Okay, 6 months. And back in those days, the river used to run right in front of this building. So when these girls pulled up to the dock, all the men in New Orleans were excited. 80 girls, my dream. I can't wait to meet them. 80 girls. So they got out there. Well, 6 months on a ship is rough. A lot of these girls were seasick. They were pale. A lot of them were malnourished. They couldn't stand the sunlight. Okay? They were all dragging these long boxes behind them. It was their dowry. It looked like a coffin. They called it.
Yeah, Ralph. Ralph had any type of information you needed, who was buried here and what went on there.
Everything.
Yeah, he was very knowledgeable, and you know, we probably walked maybe 1 to 2 miles. We went in a big circle, and every step of the way he kept pointing stuff out and just informing us of the history.
And he lived like in the French Quarter too,
Yeah,
so he basically walked to work.
Yeah, so every day he just gets to tell his life story, so yeah, you can't really beat that. Now, the food. I'm gonna be quite honest.
Oh, the food.
I think sometimes you just, you know, you take swings and sometimes you just miss. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like the places that we got to eat at didn't give me that New Orleans food that I was really looking for. Like, sad to say, I feel like I had better New Orleans food outside of New Orleans. And don't slight me for that comment, but yeah, we didn't just run into that good old Southern spiced up food. I mean, some of it was okay, but
Yeah.
there was a few hit or misses.
But
Definitely.
if you stay there long enough,
Yeah.
you'll be able to experience. We were only there for like two
Two
days or
days,
so,
3 days.
2 or 3 days, and so it was some places. A lot of places say they're authentic. Okay, you'll see that a lot. Authentic Cajun, they will have that, and they're really not authentic. They're halfway off. But it depends. The shrimp, we tasted a lot of shrimp and grits. I think the shrimp and grits was pretty good.
Which shrimp and grits?
It was a couple of places.
Oh, you the shrimp and grits you ordered. I think that was the Vampire Cafe or something.
But it was somewhere else too.
Uh-uh.
But they have a lot of food options. You just have to make sure you look it up, Google, Yelp, and look up the food.
Yeah.
Because some of the places they're not really authentication. But other
They
than
said
that,
we came at the perfect time because
yeah,
it was
we did.
right after Mardi Gras, where the city was still lively but not as crazy. But it was still pretty crazy. Like, even on the news, I remember hearing some guy get stabbed for petting somebody's dog.
That was
So,
crazy.
you know, there are some crazies out there, but it was still, still a great experience.
And it won't be as expensive if you don't go. If you go like after Mardi Gras, because they changed the prices. Most of the restaurants, they changed their menu too for Mardi Gras, so they just switched everything back, and the prices were pretty good too.
I would say one of the most fun things we did was like the Alligator Tour.
Florida's always hot. They only even keel. They don't fluctuate in those cold, freezing winter months with the ice like we get here. Now, I'm not saying Louisiana doesn't get super warm sometimes in our winter. Look today. Everyone, it's not about the air temperature. It's all about the water temperature. You see, you can swim in Florida waters year round. You can't swim in Louisiana waters year round. You catch hypothermia. Normally, late spring, summer, and fall, our water temperature is 70 to 90. The gator's heart rate beats 35 beats per minute. The gator can hold its breath 4 to 8 hours.
There's 4 out here. There are 4.
I'm trying to get him on the other side, forever, you know what I'm saying? Right here. Sight, sound, smell, and the keenest sense of all is vibration.
Oh yeah, I
And
that.
tasting alligator, you had fried alligator and blackened alligator. The blackened alligator was pretty good. I didn't taste the fried. I think your sister tasted the fried.
I didn't taste none of it.
But no, alligator when it was blackened, it was it was pretty decent. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm a picky eater, so
You can't
I
eat something that was so slimy before.
I eat what I know what it is, and if I had it before, I don't. I'm gonna be eating alligator.
You won't be.
After I seen an alligator, then I'm gonna eat an alligator. What? No.
Hey. After the alligator seen you, he would eat you. Yeah, the alligator tour was fun. We were on a big, nice boat, and we got the tour in that area. What was that area called? We'll link it. But yeah, the Alligator Tour was awesome. They definitely went over some of the history and how, since all the hurricanes, some of the land is being, taken away, and they're losing swamp area and all that. It's kind of sad to see what's going on, but at the same time, they're making the best of it and always constantly trying to replenish the area with alligators. There's a lot of alligator farming that they do.
You got that from the tour guide.
The tour guide was.
He was good too.
Yeah, he was real good too. Broke down a lot of differences, like how big. So they grow. They grow at a crazy rate. So like when you see one that's really, really long, that usually means that, they might have been around for easily like 50 years. They can live up to they're prehistoric. So to a certain degree, you might not even know how long they can live, but they can easily live up to 200 years, depending on the size of one. And we saw some big ones.
Really big. I don't
know. Y'all got to check those out.
Like all we saw was big ones.
Yeah,
and they was feeding them what,
marshmallows. That was interesting. Like, who knew such a deadly animal like marshmallow?
That is interesting. Definitely can't wait to go back.
Definitely would go back.
Yes. Well, we really like the French Quarter and Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
I think only place we didn't get to visit was Frenchman Street, which is where a lot of the music and stuff is at.
The weddings.
Oh, the weddings.
The street weddings. Those were
interesting.
So it's like they would get married and you see them marching through the streets, throwing rice. So that was interesting.
Yeah. But that's our tour of New Orleans. It was a quick trip without the kids, but we was able to spend time with each other, our family, and
some quality time in the bay.
In the what?
In the bay.
Oh.
All right, guys. We're the Surreals. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.
Take care. God bless you.